We need to talk.
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 Welcome back to We Talk, episode number 86. I'm Mr. KOA alongside
Top Boy.
And we got some energy today. I feel good. I feel good. I feel energized. It's the weather. I feel like even though we're in the pandemic and it's still this weird, era we're in, but I think this very strange positive weather right now in November is keeping our spirits high.
Yeah.
I know once it gets cold, everyone just feels like shit. No one wants to talk.
You think people start acting different when the weather gets better?
Of course. Very different. That's why, like, if you extend the summer, people are still staying positive. People are still trying to work, trying to get their last hustles in, trying to use the daylight the best you can before it turns midnight at 4 p.m. Like, I actually hate that. It gets dark quick. Like, it gets dark quick, and the thing is, like,
too quick.
And the thing is, it's not even it's not until you stop working corporate that you realize that like you actually get to appreciate day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I remember I was working corporate, and you literally wake up dark for work at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and you leave work at 5, darkness. Like that on the brain, like for people who are still working and stuff and doing that, like that's actually depressing on the brain.
Very depressing.
To wake up in the dark and go home and it's dark. You're going to your car at night. It's 4:30 p.m. and it's dark again. You've been inside all day.
I've been feeling that. Like, I felt that a couple times in the past couple of weeks because sometimes I would have clients that I have to train at like 7 a.m. So I'd be at the gym for 7 and it'd be kind of dark. Yeah. And then after I'm done teaching them, I'm just in the gym all day. Like, if I might be working from the gym, doing
You're still inside,
our stuff still inside, or I might be shooting all day in the darker room. So when I come out, it's just darkness. And it feels weird. It does weird things to you. So,
and there's people who have to do that every day, all winter long.
It's trash.
And then you wonder why they want to punch people in the face. Like, speaking of a bunch of people in the face,
crazy.
That line of Bertram said, we have a group chat, and it was funny. I had to deal with an issue.
Let's talk about it. Oh my
God. There's been this ongoing issue that I feel like it's a weekly digest for me. At the beginning of this year, the beginning of 2020, actually the end of last year, it's like end of December 26th or 27th or so. I have, most people know I have a phrase for my brand called "Thank You for Your Eyes," and I originally was using, a logo for it in my videos at the beginning or at the end, depending on how I felt like using it. And then I had an idea, not because I saw it anywhere, just because I'm already into graphic design and, I've been creating stuff for years now. I was like, what if I made, a border with my phrase and use that as, a theme for my page, essentially. So I created a border for my page, put the text around it, top, bottom, sides, and all my themes and stuff are black and white. They're black and red, so I use the black and white to keep it simple. And I've been doing that on all my work for the last 12 months now, 11 months. And I have photographers and videographers follow me through the over the months. And on time and time again, I have these conversations where there's this, we've been talking about, we have an episode called The Copycat. And it's essentially finding the line between being inspired by somebody and straight out just jacking some shit. And there's a very, 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 very fine line between being inspired and recreating something, or, being inspired to, improve something. Like, you can't recreate the wheel. The wheel's there, but you can make spinners, you can make, black rims. You can do different things. You're not going to make a new wheel, but you can change it in a way where you make it yours. And being inspired by things is all part of the creative industry, and I'm inspired by different things, whether it's movies and shows and stuff. We're all gonna be inspired by something, but it's another thing to copy someone's thing, and I don't respect that personally. I would never do that to somebody else, another creative, especially if I respect that creative work or creative person. And I don't know, maybe it's a personality thing, but I don't feel good if I can look at my stuff and it's like, I literally didn't add anything to this. I just took it from somebody. That's a personal thing to me, I guess. Yeah. And I think I'm learning more and more that, like, some people don't have that personal, like, rejection where they're like, I need to make something that's mine. I feel like some people actually really don't care. And there's been many people who've, you know, come to my page and recreated my border and straight up copied it, and then they would tag me in it, and they'd be like, oh, inspired by this guy, and I'd message them and be like, I appreciate, you know, the node or whatever, but I don't
do that.
Don't do that. And they're like, oh, I thought you like it. I'm like, I don't. I don't like it. And I don't like it not because, you know, it might look terrible. No, sometimes it doesn't. It looks terrible, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't like it because I'm like, if you're in this creative space, I'm like, I actually encourage people to be creative. Like, we're all, you know, we all have our own, you know, avenues and lanes. So I'm like, if you're going to say you're inspired by me, like, don't misuse the word inspired, right? I'm not letting people get away with just saying this person inspired me, but they just did what that person, that's not inspiring. That means you saw something someone did, and you said, I want to do that too.
I want to copy it.
I want to do it as well. And we're also in an era where everyone wants to get famous, bro. We're in this like, everyone's the race for the fame, right? Yeah. And you see it in almost any industry, even the rap industry. Like, once people see the formula and they see what works for someone and that made someone blow, they're like, I'm gonna do that. I need to do this. I need to do this. We get you know, when Migos started their type of rap, their style of rap, and they blew up, people were like, that's what works. All right, I'm gonna start rapping like the Migos. Yeah, you're not wrong. Friggin' Pop Smoke came out with his style. People were like, that's what people like. I'm gonna start rapping like Pop Smoke. Drake. The things go on and on and on. So like, people aren't original, and people are just trying to get famous or blow. Yeah. And they see what works for somebody else, and they're like, I need to do that exact same thing because I want to blow. Not because they're trying to push the creativity or they're trying to make it better. They're just like, I want to do exactly what worked for this guy so I can get where he is. And that's not how it works, unfortunately. So I had these conversations with people. Sometimes some people take it, you know, very respectfully, like, oh yeah, sorry, I didn't want to step on your toes. I'm like, no, it's fine. I just want to let you know, like, I don't, this doesn't make me feel good, but I appreciate you looking at my stuff. Cool. But there was one situation I just had yesterday where not only, and okay, let me say this to make sure I preface it. No, I'm not the first person to ever make a border on my folder. No, I'm not the first person to ever have a slogan for my brand. Like, no, but it's how I do and how I brand myself is very unique to me. And I've been doing it so consistently at this point. If anyone sees my stuff, they're like, oh, that's Ryan shit. And they know, right? It's one thing if I saw someone copy my style. Sorry, not copy my style. It's one thing if I saw someone with my style of border or portrait or whatever, and I have no connection to them whatsoever. Like, if I just was on Instagram and some guy in Amsterdam had a random border that said, you know, thank you for your sound or some shit, and I don't know this guy, I'd be like, oh shit, that's pretty interesting. Like, I wouldn't message him. I don't fucking know. Like, I would know there's zero connection. He's in Amsterdam. He's not even speaking the same language. You know, like, we don't have any shared followers. I'd be like, oh, that's actually pretty trippy that, you know, we both kind of feel the same way. It had something similar. I was like, I would be like, that's pretty interesting. I know I didn't copy from this guy because I don't fucking know this guy, and vice versa. I would never message somebody like that. I would never even care. I'd be like, that's pretty interesting that our brains kind of thought that way. Yeah. And I would know that, like, we independently thought that way. You know what I'm saying? The issue is when these people follow me and message me like, yo, like, how you do this? How you do that? Yo, how'd you get that monitor? Yo, how do you like it? Oh, sick. Yo, can you help me with this? I saw you had the monitor. Like, message me for advice, blah, 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 blah. Like every post I do, comment, blah, all this shit, and then do it. And then play stupid like they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, oh, are you the first person to ever do this? No, I'm not, but you fucking know it's me. Like, that is the entirely different situation. And then they play stupid like, oh, I didn't know it was true. You've been following me for over months and you like everything I do. You've been, this has been embedded in your brain for months, and then one day you just do it and it looks so like scarily similar. And you want to play I mean, it's a creative space. Like, everyone does the borders like this. Like, bro, if I don't punch you in the fucking face.
Listen, man. Like,
oh my God. But
it's very triggering. It's very triggering because, you know, there was an episode where we had Rain on here, Arun, talking about my incident.
Yes.
And you said the same thing. It's, at no point do we ever believe that, you know, we are actually the person who created this said style, whatever it is, right? If you're, quite frankly, if you're an artist or anything like that, you're always taking inspiration from somewhere, whether it's consciously or unconsciously.
Absolutely.
The thing is, though, you should be, as I said in our group chat yesterday, you should be innovating on it, right? There's nothing wrong with someone seeing, oh, Ryan does borders like this. How can I do something similar, but it's not the same, right? The problem with that particular incident with you is you send the video to the group chat, and obviously the first thing I noticed was the border, but then I watched the video itself, and I said, whoa, this is...
He's even watching your style of shooting.
But this is why it's crazy, though, because I can say this because I also follow this person. Like, I have no issues with them. Like, I'm just being impartial, right? I follow them as well, and none of their other work is like that. Like, to me, they have their own style. They have a very particular style.
Absolutely.
Right? And it presents like a weird question, because are people allowed to change their styles? Yes.
Definitely.
But let's just not play dumb. Like, that's the main thing.
It's the playing dumb. That's all that bothers me.
It's the playing dumb. And then on top of that, you end up feeling kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Because Chris said in the group chat, he said, I don't even know if you responded. I don't remember, but he said, when you message this guy, like, what did you
expect? And I said for them to delete it and be themselves.
Okay. So, So the thing is, it's whenever I get that question, because I'm sure Chris has asked me that before, the way, in my mind, all I want at the bare minimum is confirmation that you fucking copied me. You know what I mean?
Like, you know what? I did.
Like, stop.
And you're like, okay, please don't do that. Like,
cool.
But don't run around like I'm an idiot.
You know what I mean? It's fucking stupid. Yeah. Like, because I keep going back to the issue that I had with my guy, and it's the fact that you were in my DMs before you ever owned a drone ever, and was like, yo, which one should I buy? Then it was, how do I do this edit? Then it was, where did you go to do this? And then when I look at your photos and I look at mine, there's a quick moment where I have a hard time distinguishing between the two. So obviously you're copying me. That's not at like, we're gentlemen. Let's be gentlemen about this, right? Like, stop being stupid.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm not with that shit whatsoever.
At all.
You know what I mean? Like, I think we see it all the time. People just need to be fucking smarter about this shit. And at some point, like, yeah, you're gonna copy someone else's work, but you better come up with your own fucking variation of it at some point.
Absolutely.
That's all it is. That's all it is. Trash.
Bruh. Anyways, guys. Welcome back.
We're gonna get into the question for this week. There's a little bit of a doozy.
It was a good question. I'm working with the question this week. So people felt like they want to open.
I got a lot of private DMs.
They opened their heart up about this one.
Got a lot of private DMs. So the question was, if you found out your partner cheated in their previous relationship, would you be hesitant to continue? Do cheaters change? And my friend Julie, she DM'd me like right as soon as this was posted. She said, leopards don't change their spots. And I was like, yo. So
it'll be so wild.
So you know what? Let's read something. My boy Andrew, he said you had to take it there because he tunes in every week. One of the trainers at my gym, he tunes in every week. Sick. And he's like, you guys just talk about like real shit. And I'm like, and he's also in a relationship.
Okay.
So I guess for him, it's like we're talking about shit that
he's currently thinking about.
He might think about it. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna say this.
Can address this shit.
Yeah. Christina, she says bye, hard pass. Nicole, she said, shout out to Nicole. She always tunes in, chimes in. She said, I mean,
which Nicole? Brandy?
No, Nicole. It's just Nick Stacks. I don't know her last name.
Nicole. Gotcha.
She said, I mean, if you're already in the relationship and there's been no reason to suspect they're doing it now, I'd give people the benefit of the doubt. People grow as they get older and have life experience, but if they're moving shady, I'd be like, and probably move on. Kiki, she said, I live by the motto of your past does not define your future. Who you were a year ago is not who you are now. What you did in the past does not dictate what you're going to do now. Just because you've cheated does not mean you're a cheater. And if you're grown and know what you want and have what you want, what reason do you have to cheat? Why cheat on someone you don't want to lose with someone you don't want to keep? And you respond to that like, because they can.
Because
like,
you can.
Because they can.
That's it.
Yeah. And she
it's
said,
Rob, but
yeah. And she said, very true. Personally, I don't understand it. If you're not happy, just leave. Would you rather be honest and break up with a clean conscience and clear air, or cheat and hurt the person and deal with trust issues if y'all stay together? Or what ifs if y'all break up? I don't know. My logic is different than most people, but that's okay. I think
she's optimistic. She's
optimistic, but she's also talking, some of these responses, and we'll get to the rest of them. The important thing to remember is context, right?
Yeah.
So, and this applies to everything. So when both of you are right in your statements, you know what I mean? In an ideal world,
why would you do that?
In an ideal situation, it's like if you're with someone and you feel like you're going to cheat, you should probably just break up.
Of course.
So that way you're not doing anything super foul. But human emotions don't work like that. You know what I mean? There's some people who just cheat because that's what they do. Their dogs are going to cheat, right? Whether they're man or a woman. And then there's people who
don't want to.
When the cheating happens, it's a complicated situation.
There's remorse. They feel bad. They blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
And there's like cheating when it's emotional. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's not like people.
There's layers.
So that's why context matters in this sense. The thing that's interesting about this question though is, like, how did you find out that your partner cheated on your past? Like
they just one day, like, you know what? Fine, I lied. I did.
Yeah. Like,
did they just come to you one day?
Did you find, like, let's say you and your partner are dating, everything's great, and you find out from a third party, you meet someone who is like, oh, you're dating some more, cool. And it like comes up.
We had a past, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it comes up in a conversation. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm sure that would probably raise some eyebrows. Like, imagine you were your girl and you're talking to a girl that you don't know. Right. So how do I say this? So the girl that you're dating right now is not someone that you have a lot of mutual friends with. It's like you met, right? You start dating. But you have a female friend that knows her, right? And she tells you, oh yeah, like one of my friends knows this girl and apparently she cheated in her last relationship. Does it not matter how long you've been dating this person now when you find out? Because if you found out your partner were cheated in their last relationship, like a month into your relationship with them, your outlook is probably different than if you've been dating them for like a year. Maybe. Like, I don't know. It depends on the person, right?
I think it gets I think because we're human, we love the ignorance. We love being in bliss. The ignorance is bliss. Like I think once we're knowledgeable about something that actually exists versus the potential of something existing, because we all know that someone could cheat on us. Yeah, that's a duh. Like you can't go in that relation and be like, no, he will never, she will never. We all know the potential is there. Yes, but it's never confirmed. And if someone says they never done it before in their past, you're like, okay, you never done it before in your past. I could be the first one. I know it's still possible. You never done it. But since you haven't, that makes me feel a little bit better. But it doesn't mean that now I know you'll never will. But you're like, the potential's there. Yeah, everyone can get you. But once it's been confirmed, now that seed is in your head, you can't take it out. And the issue is, you don't know, like, even though you don't know any situation that's happened in your current relationship at this point, you also don't know if it has or has not. And now that you know that the person is capable, you're like, is this person just really smart and I'm just really dumb this whole time? Yeah. Like, you start thinking, like, how good are they? Yeah, you start overthinking everything. You like, you can be like, oh, nothing happened to me, but it's like that, and then the whole situation about cheating is that people only know people cheat on them if they find out.
Yeah.
No one actually knows that people cheat on them unless they either find out or the person tells them.
Yeah.
So it's like, you would be just as naive and stupid to be like, well, I mean, that was their past, but we've been good. It's like, I mean, I'm sure the guy or the girl thought they were good until that happened. So it's just, it'll even like the context of you finding out, especially if it's from someone else and you and your girlfriend or boyfriend have not had the conversation before ever, or you had the conversation before and they said they hadn't. That's now you're like,
that would be bad. That would be really bad. So then for me, think about it like this. If you're going into a new relationship with someone, I think it might not always come up, but I think people should be asking, you know, what happened in your last relationship? Right?
At least the last one. You don't have to be like all of them, but like,
what happened in your last?
At least your last one. Like
why?
Before you got right here,
like what happened to the last person you're dating with? And at that point, it's on the person who did the cheating to probably acknowledge at that point. You know, I think it's tough. I think it would be okay. I think it'd be tough to acknowledge that you cheated in the past as someone that this new person that you actually like have deep feelings for.
You're like, I don't want to fuck this up kind of thing.
Because you know,
you're like, they're going to look at you different immediately from that very moment. Right? So you might lie.
Yeah. But then you got sociopaths who fucking cheat all the time and they can just be like, nah, she was crazy. Yeah. That's already ended. You know, so I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I think you should just be upfront about it.
It's funny. There's an Instagram page that's been blowing up lately.
Yeah.
I don't know how people got it. So how you blew up so fast, but I'm not sure if you know the page, the Justin LaBoy page.
It sounds familiar.
Everyone's been sharing it. Mostly girls, toxic girls. Majority of girls. It's just a page full of he literally just shares just super raw tweets or captions, like just nonstop. Sometimes they're his, sometimes he pulls them places, sometimes like, but there's no pictures. The whole page is just raw lines, just raw lines.
Yeah.
You never heard of him, Justin LaBoy?
No, let me see.
Okay, so there's one that my cousin shared me today. He said one of these posts is, dating is just wondering why someone is single, then figuring it out.
Jesus Christ.
If like I'm literally gonna click on 3 random ones, and this is just to give you an idea of what the shit that's on here.
Yeah.
Clicking one. I love when I'm drunk. Just be floating around smiling, can't hardly see. Another one, let me just scroll. Random. Whatever I post on social media is to be seen. Don't ever think you're peeping shit.
Yeah. That's fast.
Pretty true. And then one more random one. Let's see. No, it's about smoking. I don't smoke. Stop talking to me is the last thing I'm gonna say before I get disrespectful.
All accurate. All very accurate.
And he has a hashtag that he uses, respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully.
Hashtag respectfully. But yeah, so I've been seeing girls they just go through this guy's page and just, I feel like they're using his page to speak. You know, type of girls that just share nothing. They won't never say anything.
But they'll just share.
And they can get away with saying, "Oh, it's just a meme."
Yeah.
It's not. Oh, I'm just joking. It's just
what are you talking about?
But they're true thoughts. They're always true thoughts.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's a dicey situation. I think if you have to.
Well, last one. My biggest fear is catching my girl cheating and the nigga beat me up.
You can't even say anything after that, honestly.
Oh,
you
man.
Can't. Let's read some more. Another Nicole, she said, they can change. Cheating is never about the other person. It's about the person doing it. At least that's my story. I will always admit I used to in the past, but now I know why I did and do not repeat. I never wanted to cheat. However, the connection on why I was deep-rooted trauma. There's actually a woman who said
Brandy,
this.
Right?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Same Midnight. Fan favorite. He said, for the same reason folks don't immediately jump on a car with a rebuild title or silent seed. Fair. Reese, he said, regardless of what anyone did in the past, just remember that people really are capable of doing anything. Everyone says that they're not a cheater until they cheat. The game is the game. Proceed with caution. Yo,
The game is the game.
Reese, holy fuck.
Man.
From downtown England. Just with the bucket. That was a good one. Because, yeah, I've, like, because I can, I think on the podcast I've been pretty transparent about a lot of things in my relationship life. And, I've been cheated on before. And I've also like emotionally cheated on my partner. You know what I mean? So I understand it. You don't. I think for people like me, it's something where you're not. When it happened, it's not like I'm thinking about, oh, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do whatever I can to like hurt this person.
Yeah.
So I get what he's saying when they said everyone is capable of it. I realized that when my ex cheated on me, I was like, oh shit, this can actually happen.
To me.
Yeah, because as a guy, you don't think about the fact that a woman or your partner can cheat on you at any time. But they're literally the same people as us. You know what I mean?
100%.
They're the same people.
It's just I guess societal, it's way more common that guys do it and that girls are used to the guys doing it.
Yeah.
So they enter like, he might cheat on me. I hope he doesn't, but he might. Guys enter it like, if it's a false sense of security, but they believe like, if my girl loves me, she'll never do it.
Yeah.
I might, but she'll never cheat on me.
Yeah. Which is like not, it's how a lot of us think.
Of course.
But like we shouldn't accept it. Right. And then on top of that, because I know that everyone is capable of it, I think truthfully, I'm at a point where, someone could cheat on me today. And obviously I'd be upset by it. Yeah. But I think I would honestly have a more mature conversation about it than I would have years ago.
Oh, I definitely. I don't think I would trip.
I don't think I would trip. I would just be like, look.
I'd be like, we're done. But I mean,
yeah, like, was it, did we just fall out of love? Like,
it'd be like, oh, okay, like, for you to do this, like, okay, I think you'd get it. I think you'd be like, shit, that sucks. We probably have to break up. But like, what was going on? Like, stress, whatever. Was I not doing something?
Yeah, like, was I not? Because that's the thing, right? I think after, like, hurt people, right? And I think after I've been cheated on, I have it in the back of my head where I think, oh, okay, this can happen to me again with anyone.
Definitely.
And as a result, if it does happen, I would rather just know, did I do something wrong? Like, did I do something wrong?
Or do you just want to leave?
Or do you just want to leave? Did the relationship just fizzle out? Because then that's my form of the closure, as opposed to never knowing why I got cheated on. Yeah. You never want to not know why. I think that...
Like, you want to be like somebody like am I just an idiot? Like, do you just am I just a bum? Like, I think, you just cheat on me just because I'm whack? Like, or does there...
Yeah, like I think I would just want to know, because I can actually, when you say you just get it, I fully get it. If someone says, yeah, I cheated because like this, I just wasn't feeling this anymore. That would fucking suck to hear, but I get it.
You're like, you know what? Yeah.
I get it.
I got that.
I understand.
Versus, I don't know. No reason, really. Just bored.
Then I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
wow.
Like, what are we talking about? So
yeah. Okay, yeah. People, so it stopped. Okay. So that's why. Hold on.
Cool.
Yeah, so they'll stop on both.
Yeah. So yeah, like I'd rather just know, but then let's see what other people were saying. Sydney said this is triggering. Supreme Rakim, he said, yeah, it's clipped for them. For all I know, they could be cheating on someone else with me, right? There's like what you said earlier.
Yeah.
Danny, one of our original guests too on the show, she said, for one, I'd hope I'd be given the same grace if I was the cheater. But that's a conversation to have early. So if they told me no and I find out later, there's a problem. But if they told me the truth when I asked, I'd be hesitant, but it wouldn't be a done deal. But I've also never been aware of any cheating, so I don't have much trauma associated with it. It also depends on how long the cheating happened, how often they cheated on the same partner, how many other partners they've cheated on, if they still keep in touch with any of the people they cheated with, and if their friends help them cheat. See, those last two are big.
Deep.
Those last two are
Kathleen?
big. Huh?
Kathleen?
No, Danny.
Which Danny?
Danny B.
Oh,
yeah.
Danielle.
So hold on. Those last two are big, right? If they still keep in touch with any of the people they cheated with, and if their friends help them cheat.
That last one's getting me. Because if your friends are helping you cheat, whoever you are, you lose. So if you have a girl or a guy that has friends helping them cheat, you are an automatic L. There's nothing. There's no penetrating that.
Yeah. Well, help me out here.
Yeah.
Define helping them cheat. Like the friends know and they don't say anything to you. Technically, that's helping them, right? Like,
I mean, that's an assist, but I mean, I mean, helping them cheat to me would be like
putting them in positions to
not even putting them in positions, but like structurally keeping the girlfriend or the boyfriend in the dark, like structurally. Like, you know, like there's one thing where it's like, okay, you just like, okay, I know he's out there, or I know she's out here doing some shit, but I'm just not gonna say anything. And if I see you, like, just say nothing.
Yeah.
Versus like structurally, like, you know, the person's out there and you now need to distract or like,
that's fucking,
you know what I'm saying? Like
that's
structurally making sure you never find this out. Like, oh, where's the more? Oh, like he's like,
yeah,
you're communicating with this person. They're trying to like get their man, their girl.
Yeah.
And you're purposely redirecting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's really fucking
that's
wild.
dangerous.
Yeah, that's really
that means
wild.
They're like, oh, like, you see my boyfriend? You see my girlfriend? Oh,
I'll say this, right? If I had suspicions that I was getting cheated on, right? And I am like me and my partner, we have mutual friends. If I ask one of the mutual friends that she's friends with, like, yo,
where's she at?
Not where she at.
Oh.
Like, I have concerns about this.
Oh, like brought it up?
Yeah, I'm like, I have concerns about this. Do you know anything or whatever? And they tell me no.
What do you expect them to say?
But this is what I'm
being serious.
Okay, well, let's do
because
context.
You're not friends with them, are you?
Yeah, we are.
So are you friends with them because you're friends through your boyfriend or girlfriend, or are you friends with them because you're already friends with them?
I was already. No, let's make a situation then, right? I'm friends with this person, the friend,
as a result of the partner.
No,
already.
I was already friends with them, right? And then they became like great friends with my partner.
So that's your friend first then?
It was my friend first.
Gotcha.
Then I introduced said friend to my friend.
Okay.
So I introduced said friend to my girlfriend. And they become great friends, right?
But I mean, they're loyal to you first. Should. Okay.
Should. Yeah. But it doesn't always work that way. So my point is this. If I ask that person, hey, if I say I got concerns about something and I confide in you, I got concerns, would I be wrong? Not only is the relationship like over at that point, would I be wrong in cutting off said friend? Being like, you know what? I asked you
if they denied,
if they said, I don't know anything about it. I can't speak for so and so. It's not my place. Like, does that not put our then relationship in a dicey situation?
No, I absolutely agree. But I think, I mean, I can only say this from my own personal experience, that I think any friend that I have, like my current friends, any friend that I have that is my friend that I introduce to a partner, will always take me first. No matter how close they get, they'll be like, I could be your girl is super dope, blah, blah, blah. But if something's happened, they'll be like, yo, like I will always, they can go on dates together, be shopping, whatever. But they will always be like, I met her through you. So if whatever's going on, I'm like, I'm gonna come to you first because I care about you first. The only thing that I can't control is if I became friends with their friend the relationship.
That's very different.
Then I come to them like, yo, like, anything happening? And they're like, don't know. Like,
yeah, that's very
I
different.
can't expect them to tell me shit, really. Even if we got close over the, like, they're still going to be like, talk to your girl or talk to your man. Like, you can't expect the friend of their friend to say anything.
Yeah, that's very different.
I think I will cut my friend off if they become friends with my partner and then flip on me. Like, okay, what the hell? Like, what?
Yeah.
I brought you here. What the hell are you doing? Like, that, you know what I mean? That's an easy cut.
I get it.
Because, like, I brought her to you and now you're flipping on me?
Look, like, I completely get it.
That's wild.
The problem is, I think it puts... Dude, you know what it is? We talked about before, no one... We talked about cheating before.
Yeah.
And the dynamics it creates with your friends and all this type of stuff. Yeah. And the common thing was, it's not my place. Yes. Right? People said it's not my place, but it kind of is your place. If we talked about this, like, it's your place to a certain extent. Like, if for example,
but we're saying it's not my place when it's a friend in the middle. So say I'm friends with you and I know another girl, I'm friends with her, and you guys start dating and I'm friends with you both.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not more of a friend to you. I know both you guys.
Both of us.
And you guys started dating. I'm like, oh shit, my friends are dating. Like, okay, cool. You guys know each other, but through both of you, I'm in the middle. That's where it's like.
So you think? I get that.
That's where it's like, you cannot make me do this.
Yeah. So
like,
so you think that you believe that, like, if you have a friend first, you introduce said friend to this new girl.
Yes.
Right? They become great friends.
Don't care.
You believe that friend should always have your back.
100%.
That girl should always have your back.
I brought that person to your life. 100%. Now, if we break up and you continue to carry on the friendship.
Oh, that's fine. Absolutely.
Whatever. But as long as we're in a relationship together, I brought you to this partner. But you guys became great friends. That's fine.
But what? Okay, yeah. It's great that they're still gonna be friends. You don't want that friendship to end. But let's say that partner was cheating on you.
Yeah.
Right? And your friend, because they became great friends, knew this was happening or happened.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, do you believe it when that friend says, you know, like, I didn't know what to do. Like, it's not my place, blah, blah, blah. Because it's a very difficult position for them to be
I'll
in.
believe that they feel that way.
Yeah.
But I won't care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say, come on, like, you knew better. Like, no, they may have gotten that deep. It's very possible that, like, I brought you here as a friend and you guys just kicked it off and now you actually feel torn. You're like, fuck, like, I actually got so close.
Yeah, I think that's what would happen. Yeah.
I do believe that they feel like shit. Like, I couldn't really, but I will still be like, I actually don't care how close you thought you guys were. You know, I'm great. I'm glad you became friends, blah, blah, blah. But this only happened because of me. So there's I don't care how close you guys got. Like, I should still be first. And that's just, that could be my own selfish opinion. Sure. But I'd be like, I don't care. Like, I don't care.
It's almost like the decency.
Yeah.
You could have the decency.
Because you ran off with my girlfriend. Yeah. You became super close and now I get shafted. What the heck?
Yeah.
I was going, oh yeah, but we got so close. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
I see. Like, it's weird because I think if it was a guy friend of yours, the only one of the scenarios where they're not saying anything is if they like the person. If they like the person, there's some weird going on.
Exactly.
Right? If they don't like the person and they don't say anything to you, then you're looking at them like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, why wouldn't you?
Like, what was the incentive not to?
Not to.
Yeah.
But when it's a girl, I just kind of feel like maybe. I feel like women honestly are more likely to just stick together.
Just protect the woman?
Yeah.
I don't believe that when it comes to girls who are guys' friends. Because I feel like girls who are friends with guys know how trifling girls can be. And because of that, they're like, I don't want to be associated with a girl like this. Like, I think if you have a really close girlfriend and she becomes close to your girlfriend and she knows the girl's doing dirty, she's gonna be like, I don't want you to do my guy like that. Like based on their decency. Yeah. Unless they too are a cheater in their own life, then that's different. But I think if it's a decent girl that is your decent friend and they find out the girl's doing that, they'd be like, nah, you're not fucking my boy like that. Like, nah. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, from a like that's my good guy friend. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I don't feel like she'll be like, I can't tell. Like, I think she'll be like, nah, I'm not cool with that. As a good girlfriend.
Yeah.
Unless she has those traits, then it might get messy. I think the only situation where you're like, I didn't really know is in that situation where it's like, I'm friends with both you guys independently.
Yeah.
And now I'm in this middle spot where I'm like, I don't want to blow up your spot and then lose you as a friend, but I don't want to tell you and then be the reason that you guys break up and then I lose both of you guys. Or maybe
I get that. I mean, look, the whole situation is complicated for all parties involved, right? Like whether or not they're friends with you first,
you just mind your business.
It's still very complicated. I was just wanted to get your opinion because that's a little dicey situation. Azra, she said context matters, so no. People change, and people change people, and people change for people. Mm-hmm. Which is like a very simple sentence, but it makes a lot of sense, right? Mama Lou, she said, your past definitely does not define you. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago, and I would always give my counterpart the same grace. But my traumatic past with cheating is something I left in my past and healed from. Capital healed. Wanting someone that has always had the same relationship values as me in terms of remaining faithful doesn't make me a bad person, unforgiving, or judgmental. It just means it ain't for me. Carrie said, people make mistakes. It all depends on circumstance, level of deceit. Was this premeditated or a foolish mistake? Right? Foolish mistake is weird to me.
I was just about to say, I'm like, are there actual mistakes when you cheat?
You don't fall into someone's vagina.
I just want to know if that, like, does anyone believe when someone says it was a mistake that actually makes sense?
When they say it was a mistake,
means they didn't want to do it.
It means,
I mean, they wish they didn't do it.
They wish they didn't do it. Right? That's what they mean.
Right.
Like the act itself
There's
wasn't
no
a mistake.
actual mistake. You
know
wanted to do whatever you were doing, you wanted to do at that moment.
I can only speak about this from a male point of view, because I understand with women there are times where, let's say they're in a situation where they're being forced into sex. That's different, where they're like, I didn't want to be here, but I'm kind of scared of this guy.
I kind of went along with it.
So I went along with it. That's different. But for guys, it's like,
you usually have control of the situation.
I would never believe, like, I'd be hard pressed to believe a guy saying it was a mistake, because the time from when your dick is out, like,
you have opportunity.
You have plenty of opportunity to get the fuck out of there. And it's like, come on, bro, mistake.
And we all know, like, if you don't want it to go in, no one can put it in.
Yeah.
You just can't. Like, and unfortunately, like, you know, there are men that, you know, take advantage of girls, but like, it's a lot easier for a guy to put himself into a woman, which doesn't want it to happen, versus a woman being like, let me force myself onto you. Yeah. And you have no way of not, like, you have no way of bending yourself. Like, what? Like,
yeah, for sure. So
there's no
such thing as a mistake for that.
Ain't no mistake. You just got caught.
She also dropped another response. She said, like anything in life, often mistakes teach you how to behave better in the future. This can apply to any part of someone's life, and well, in some cases, it's all personal growth. That being said, if they slept with someone else and showed no remorse, had an ongoing thing, it may show lack of morals and ultimately lack of respect. But yeah, circumstance. That's what she said. And then last, Shahid said, depending on who the person is, some people I'd definitely be hesitant or leave. One or two, I trust them for my own reasons, regardless of their history. So really, it's just context. Like, it's a case by case basis. How does this person make you feel? Some people, you know, you might feel really great about someone in the early stages of their relationship. They'll tell you, look, I want you to know that, like, in my past relationship, I cheated, wasn't happy about, like, you know, they could be open with you. That will most.
That could also be a play.
It could be a play, but you know what I mean? Like, they might.
I know.
They might be. You know that by saying
that honesty game is a play. Don't be fooling people. Sometimes man will just get super honest just to bring your walls down.
You know what I mean? It's like,
he's so honest to me. He's still slanging dick, telling you the truth about it.
That's fucked. So it's weird, man. Look, at the end of the day, I think you should be as truthful as you possibly can. as much as you can.
Yeah.
I think everyone in a relationship chooses to omit certain things at time, and I'm not just talking about cheating stuff. I think they choose to omit things at certain times. You know, people do it all the time. You pick and choose. It's like picking and choosing your battles. You know that. Look,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell my partner that in my past relationship I fucking, like, I don't know. People admit certain things because they know that if I say this,
it's a little too much.
It's too much. Like,
it's
I don't want to feel some type of way about this, right? Like, I'm past it.
And
now.
the thing is, you can't reel it back in.
That's exactly, because you know what it is. There's, speaking personally,
it's thoughts. You can't reel back. Like, thoughts are thoughts.
Yeah. Speaking personally, I think for me, a fear would be is, let's say I've actually moved past something. You know, there's something I did in my past and I now know is problematic,
and they bring you back there.
And I never want to deal with it again because I've moved past it. I've grown as a person. My fear is that being honest about that time in my life with my partner,
they're gonna assume you're still this, and you're like,
they'll either assume I'm still that, or they're gonna be looking out for that constantly, even though I know internally I've done the work. So all I'm really
reel back in.
I'm really doing is putting my partner in this position where they're on a constant state of edge.
Yes.
And I'm like, fuck, I didn't want to do that. I just want to be honest with you.
So,
and like,
speaking of honesty, do you think you should tell your partner everything? And that's a very open-ended question, but I can refine it in a sense where, do you think there are certain things, whether about you, about, you know, things you've been through, life, personal things, work, interactions with people that you may have had, do you think your partner should know everything?
How long I've been dating this partner?
What changes with the duration?
If we've been dating for, I think by the end of the first year, because a year is a fast but also long time. You know what I mean? Like, using
true.
COVID as an example, the year kind of flew by, but a lot has happened in the past year.
Right.
If within a year you can't tell this person certain things that you typically wouldn't tell other people, for me, I feel like that's a sign that this person might not be the long-term person for you. Because typically, in my experience, and really, now that I really think about it, there's only been one part. It was with Jamie, right? There's only been one partner where I would actually tell her shit that was like very personal. You know what I mean? Most of my other partners, that wasn't the case. It's a combination of me being younger, and I just didn't feel like it.
Right.
This person didn't make me feel like I could tell them these things, and I wouldn't either be judged for it, or it would just go in one ear out the other. You know,
they wouldn't process.
So that's why I asked about the time, because I feel like within a year, by the end of it, if you don't feel like you can tell this person certain things, then maybe, just maybe, they might not be long term. Because like, at the end of the day, if I think about it from a flip, like the other perspective, I understand people go through shit. So it's like, okay, I don't want to, you know, I'll tell it to you on my own time. That's a conversation that should be had. It's like, yeah, this happened, but we'll get there when we get there, right? I don't want to go into it now. I'm totally fine with that. But if we're dating and I find out like 3 years into our relationship, the reason you're like this is because of these traumatic experiences you had when you're younger, I'm going to respect that you told me this.
Right.
But I'm also going to be like kind of frustrated that you didn't tell me this earlier, because we had plenty of arguments about shit.
Right.
Problem, like a lot of those things,
and there's you had no reason.
Understanding.
Yeah,
like a lot of things can be honestly avoided if you know that. If you recognize it yourself, oh, you know what? I get into arguments all the time with my partners because that's all I grew up seeing with my parents. Right? Like, that's it. if you explain that to if you explain to your partner off rip,
now
like,
you're arguing
early,
your process. Okay,
then you're like, oh, okay, I know that this person isn't arguing with me because they're just combative. They just want to be annoying. It's like, oh, like that's what they know.
Not everyone's that self-aware.
Yeah, so I don't need people to like tell me shit all the time.
Would you to follow? Do you think there's a concept of oversharing?
Absolutely. I think if it's like a month into dating, you're telling me everything. Like you're telling me some shit where it's like, yo, we haven't even got there yet. I haven't even told you my favorite color. You're telling me.
But then what is that medium? What is that? How do you
get there?
Why is that too much? If someone off rip, is it a turn off if someone off rip just starts telling you their whole childhood and everything?
Yes. And the reason why? The reason why is because you know that we're not at that level yet. For you to be telling me that, example, for you to tell me when we're just in the dating stages, or, for you to tell me when I was younger, fucking I'm trying to think of some wild shit someone could say to you, but someone told you I
was molested when I was 5 years old. Let's say
if someone tells you that like really, really early,
a couple dates in, be like, yeah, I was molested when I was 5 years old.
Yeah, so if they tell you that,
like, whoa,
see, my mind starts thinking like this. Someone just told me that. My mind thinks, okay, they're probably telling me this because of that incident when they were younger. It's now changed their perspective on how they view men and like sex, right? So it's actually very important they're telling me that.
Exactly.
And I respect it's very important. But when I say too soon, I mean like the only times I've ever felt this way, Ryan, when I'm like, okay, that's a little too soon, is literally within the first time I met you kind of thing.
Like that came up first convo?
Like first date, like first date.
Yeah.
Like that.
But why not? Why if they're just like, what if they're on the journey where they're like, I just want to be straight up from the jump and just tell tell whoever I'm interested in.
That's fair.
Right away. Why is that too much to you though?
That's totally
for
cool.
you.
That's totally cool. And I feel like what that means is, I just might not be
ready to process that for yourself.
To process it at that time. It's probably, you know what it is? It's not a them issue. It's not their
You're like,
problem.
I don't want to process this yet.
I just can't process it yet. You know what I mean? It's our first date. I just wanted to take you out.
I'm not there.
I just want to take you out.
I don't even know you.
But see, this is the problem. Like, I just want to take you out to dinner and get to know you.
Yeah.
But maybe for them, they're like, this is what you need to know.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like you don't go into a first situation thinking to yourself, all right, I need to be prepared for if she tells me some wild shit.
Yeah.
But now that you and I are having this conversation, my mind's going like,
it's like, what if they just hit you and they're like, shit, like, okay, I'm here. Like,
yeah.
And like, I feel like we go through this like dating stage of this inch. But I think that hinders us. I think that because I think we never actually become ourselves with a partner for a long time. And I think that makes things very...
Yeah, I think
that makes things very challenging.
It does. I think there's pros and cons to it, right?
I believe so. But I think as I'm getting older, I think there's more cons to the inching because you'll like the little inches you get from that person, the little inches the person's willing to give to you, and then it'll create this false sense of interest.
Yeah,
I'm liking the small things, the little bites you're giving me. I'm liking.
Yeah.
So I keep coming back. But then when you drop most of the rope to me, and I'm like, whoa. Yeah. Like, see, I wish I would have got that.
But this is why. But this is why. Going back to what we were saying before. Okay, like when people cheat in the past, it's like, fuck, I don't know if I want to say anything because I don't want this person to look at me differently.
Right.
And we're talking about what things is too much to say. So I'm thinking about it, right? Like off rip, you and I are getting older, getting closer to 30s. Like I don't want to I'm not trying to waste my time going through the stages where like little by little, I figuring you out more and more.
See you next episode to give you a little bit more.
Right?
Like, what?
But for me, it's like, I feel like there are certain things I would say off rip on the first date
that might turn somebody off.
Yeah, I know that I would.
But I also think
that comes,
you need to be
no. But that comes with me having life experience.
Yeah.
Like the problem is when I was having a real conversation with my boss the other day, right? Laura, who owns a gym, she was saying that she's like in her early 30s. Every day she sees young 20-year-olds come into the gym, right? And she sometimes she can't tell that they're young. She's like, you know, I have conversations with these people and they sound like very mature and all this type of stuff. And then she's like, people misconflate what maturity actually is, right? You can look mature, you can sound mature because you're articulate, because you're smart and all this type of stuff, but you're not mature in terms of life experience, right? Mm-hmm. You can be 23, great job, doing all this great stuff on your own shit, but it's like, have you like been in a relationship and got cheated on before? Right? Like that provides you with like a certain level of maturity that like you can't,
like has your ego been crushed?
Like have you been through life? Mm-hmm. Like, because then you'll be mature in a different way. So for me, I'm at a point now where I know that any person I date, I have to be upfront from the jump and be like, look, you know, there seems to have been a pattern with me and like partners I've dated in the past where, you know, the relationships I have with other women has been problematic. Mm-hmm. And I'm literally telling you this because even if I plan on not doing anything foul with other women, I have relationships with, I have too many female friends. I have a lot of female friends. Mm-hmm. And I understand after dating women, that can make some women uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Right. And I have
but that's a fine conversation.
But that's, yeah, I know. But that's the thing. It is a fine conversation, but I recognize that actually might turn a lot of women off rip, which is why I'm saying, like, do you want to share, like, when we talk about how do you feel about oversharing, there's a part of my brain that thinks that could be oversharing. Instead of these people letting these people see how I am
and deal with it themselves,
I'm telling them, like, this is what it is. I've worked on it, but like, this is what it is. And off rip, before I even get a chance to like know these people, they've made the decision in their head. Oh, it's another guy who's athletic, got all these tattoos, he probably has bits. You know what I mean?
Yes. And my perspective is changing as I'm getting older as well. And like, I don't have the time or the energy or the desire to make other people feel comfortable anymore. And I think that might sound crazy, but I think we constantly do things or not do things for other people's comfort rather than just being honest and letting the chips fall as they may. And I think let's just use your scenario. I meet a girl, we go on the first date, whatever, and they're like, "Oh, so tell me about yourself or your history." And I'm like, honestly, I'll be real with you. First date, like, yo, I've had a past of girls getting mad and getting issues because I travel a lot, meet a lot of girls, and I'm not even doing anything, but I just have a lot of girls around me on a constant basis. I have any issues with anybody, but just it's been an issue in my past where girls have an issue with me being around girls. I want to actually say that and then see how they process that. Yeah. And then make a decision if I want to keep talking to this person or not. Mm-hmm. If they're like, oh, that's a little off, then cool. Like, because it's going to come out at some point and then you're still going to think it's off. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not going to lie to you and pretend like this is not going to happen. It's just, so me not having a conversation now is like, okay, let me just try to get to know you first. But once that scenario does happen as it's continued played out, if I don't know how you process that now when that happens, I'm like, fuck, you can't process it. So I'd rather you be like, at that moment, I throw that in your face right now. And you're like, yo, as long as you come into me and I know you're doing your thing and I know you're faithful and blah, 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 I ain't tripping. Like, you know what? I have a lot of guy friends too, whatever. I don't, you know what? It's crazy. A lot of guys been doing that to me too. Like, I have a lot of guy friends and I have really good guy friends. And we could both be like,
you can bond over.
Yo, okay. Like,
I get it.
And she's like, I'm not tripped. Like, I don't even talk to these guys. Like, they're actually my good friends. And but guys are just get insecure, blah, blah. And you'd be like, yo, I know. And now you're bonding over like trauma, but like you're bonding over an issue that you both have been scared to divulge in because of these problems. I would rather know that now than be like, yo, let's move on with this date. This is sick. You know what I'm saying? For me. And that's just a stage I'm at now where I'm like, I would rather throw this fire on you now and you be like, I'm cool. Let's keep moving. And I'm like, shit, okay. That's for me. And I know sometimes people don't want to do it because they're like, but I don't want to ruin the chances. And it's like, yeah, but it everything in the dark comes to light, bro.
It does. It does. Yeah.
It's just, you're just prolonging when it happens. Or taking that gamble, like hopefully she's okay with it when it comes up. Like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully, it never works out with a hopefully.
Yeah, like I've learned so much about myself after being in multiple relationships, long-term relationships, right? And
just throw me in the fire, man.
Like I've been in so many long-term relationships for the majority of my 20s, right? And now the 30s are like the new 20s. Yeah. And it's like, okay, I just have to reevaluate how I go about dealing with the situations properly. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. You date long enough. The longer you date, you start figuring yourself out even more, right?
100%.
So, and along the way, things don't work out, but it's like you gotta...
I have a perfect example, actually. Yeah. Something I probably would never forwardly say. Did I start this again? That's cool. Keep on. Something I would never even forwardly say to, a female, especially on like first meeting them.
Yeah.
Is if I know that we would never date. I would never normally say that to someone in my past, like when I was younger.
Wait, say it again.
I have on many occurrences went on a date with somebody, like a first date, found out something about them, whether they're too young or, something about them. Like I find like just a vibe or something, whatever. And I can off rip be like, you and I would never actually be boyfriend and girlfriend. Like I can know that. Maybe someone would be, oh, it's so premature, but like, I know myself enough that I'm like, do I have a vibe with this person? Am I interested in this person? Would I take it there? Whatever. I can kind of gauge that with myself now at this point. Versus, I'm curious to keep going. Like those are two different things. I'll never be like, I know for sure we're gonna date, but I know if I'm like, I want to see you again, there's something. Versus like, I would see you again, but probably just for sex, or probably like I know we won't ever date. I know I'll never be like, be my girlfriend. I know that would never come. I'm at that stage now where I can address that right away. But when I was younger, I would never actually say that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how she's gonna feel. Like that's a tough pill to swallow to throw at someone. But now I do that.
Yeah.
Like not in a disrespectful way, but like you can tell when someone's kind of feeling you, whatever. And I just rather be like, okay, before you even like create this fantasy and like think about where we could like. I have literally said in conversations like, so just to make this clear, like you and I would never be in a relationship. And that's a tough pill to tell somebody, but also a very clear pill. And I've received it differently. I've received it where a girl's been like, oh, wow. Okay, then, thanks for telling me, but, okay, bye, or whatever. Like, they wouldn't leave, but like, it'd be like,
conversation, it'd be like dynamic changes.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, okay, well, let's just finish whatever this is, and good luck, whatever. And I've had people who were like, oh wow, okay, well, what else can we do? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm like, I'm so glad I did that because it set the tone immediately where I don't have the biggest problem guys have is the confusion.
Yeah,
and girls just not knowing where this is gonna go for so long. And I think maybe because I'm older, maybe because as you get older you care less, but I can be like, all right, you're a pretty girl, beautiful, you're beautiful, smart, you're this and that. You and I are never actually getting into a relationship.
Yeah.
They'd be like, why? First off, this is the age gap. There's a big age gap here. I'm 30, you're this age. And they'd be like, yeah, but I'm not gonna do this. Let's say I want to have kids in 2 years. Which I probably do. 2-3 years, I'll be 32. You'll be, if you're 23, let's say you'll be 25. Do you want kids when you're 25? Yeah. Well, not yet. Exactly. Like, like that's right off that. I'm like, if I just put a scenario in their head, like versus me just being like, I don't like you. No, I'm just like, we're not even the same stage. Like, I know you're not pressing it that way because you're like, I could be with an older guy, blah, blah. Like, they all think that. Cool. But when you be super rational with someone, I'm like, okay, nothing against you. We will never date. We're at different stages. No, I'm fine. Do you want a kid in a year? 2 years? No, of course not.
Yeah.
Because you don't. And you shouldn't. And that's fine.
Yeah.
So, but like having that conversation from jump versus them, you doing this charade of going on dates and then later on being like, oh, I don't know, like maybe let's see. It's like, I know where I am right now.
Yeah, you're right.
I know where I am right. Do you want a kid in 2 years? No. So you want to just have sex? I guess. Because that's the option right now.
Yeah.
Like, don't even look at me as a boyfriend. It's not happening. So what do you want? Like,
you're right.
I think it's so much more. I think it's so much more calming and understanding.
No, you're not wrong.
Just be straight. Just be straight from the beginning, man.
Yeah. Anyway,
cuts the headache. Cuts the headache. Yeah, it's a quick episode, guys. Yeah, we're getting into the final stretch of 2020 and
crazy.
What's the date today? November 10th. November 10th. We have what? A month and 21 days or so left of this year. Jesus Christ. Years flying by, buddy. Wow. Years flying by. Zooming by. What's Christmas gonna look like? Are people doing Christmas gifts? Are we doing this year? Christmas gifts? Yeah. Are we still gifting? I don't know. I guess people are still shopping, I guess, right now. A lot of online shopping. Online shopping. Send me your address. I'll send something to your house. Like, that's what I'll do. But yeah, good talk, guys. Yeah. We still have to plan something for 100. I know. We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. See you guys next week. Or talk to y'all. Listen to y'all. Yeah. You hear us. You see us. Yeah, see you next week. We see you. All right, later. Peace. Hello? We need to talk. We need to talk. We need to talk. We need to talk. We need to